The Supreme Court's historic decision to overturn Roe v. Wade causing nationwide protests from pro-choice supporters in major cities across the U.S. The impact from the decision will have national implications for years to come. Well, so let's bring in our panel to discuss this, shall we? Spokesperson for the Heritage Foundation, Genevieve Wood, an online opinion editor for the Washington Times, and author of Lockdown, the Socialist Plan to Take Away Your Freedom, Cheryl Chumley. Cheryl, I want to start with you. Your reaction to the Supreme Court's decision. Was the High Court right to overturn Roe?
Absolutely. It's a win for the Constitution because all it does is turn the matter back to states to decide, which is where it should have been in the first place. And now lawmakers will have to take those open, transparent, accountable to the people votes that may be difficult and uncomfortable for them, but that's great news for constituents in their states because now we will know in each and every individual state where our legislators and where our governors stand on abortion. And I just think that this is a great win for the Constitution.
Genevieve, Nancy Pelosi says today American women have less freedoms than their mothers. Is she wrong?
She's absolutely wrong. And look, here's the reality. The reason that Nancy Pelosi is making outrageous statements like that, the reason that you're seeing the kind of protest you are in cities around America by pro-abortion activists is because they know that without Roe, without this complete law across the land saying abortion on demand is legal, they know they're going to lose in many states across this country because that is just not where the vast majority of Americans are. Yes, there will be some strongholds like New York and California that probably hold out, but many, many states are going to ban abortion in most cases. Many of them will ban it, say, at the 15-week mark. So they know that this stronghold they've had on abortion law for the past 49 to 50 years, they lost it this week.
We still don't know who leaked the Roe v. Wade draft opinion, ladies. Cheryl, how can we prevent similar leaks in the future like this? And is it important that we learn the identity of this leaker?
Well, absolutely. We need to learn the identity of this leaker and prosecute because, to answer your first question, how are we going to stop future leaks if there is no accountability, if there are no consequences for the leaker? So I wonder if maybe the Supreme Court is keeping this an internal investigation until their decisions and rulings are all released, and then maybe they will turn it over to some outside intervention. But in the end, I hope we learn the identity of this person or persons and they are held to account.
Well, last night, ladies, I was out covering the protests here in New York City, Washington Square Park, Union Square, where thousands were in attendance. Genevieve, many protesters I saw, they had signs out calling for violence to some of these justices. We already know Justice Kavanaugh just a few weeks ago was threatened. His life was threatened outside his home. What do you make of these protesters? They were calling for a night of rage. Looks like that didn't quite come to fruition the way some were calling for, but I mean, where do you stand on these protests that seem to ride that fine line between being peaceful and not so peaceful?
Well, look, you can have signs and you can talk about your position on an issue, but when you start threatening people, whether it's your neighbors, whether it's elected officials, whether it's crisis pregnancy centers, when you start threatening people, that crosses the line. And just as we should find out who this leaker is, because that's a matter of justice and they should, they committed a crime, they should have to pay for that. We need to realize that this culture of intimidation that the left is really trying to perpetuate on issue after issue where they feel like they're losing at the ballot box or they lose a court case. And so their idea is to come in and intimidate people, whether it's through PC culture, shouting people down so you can't say anything in your workplace, or whether you're a Supreme Court justice and they don't like the way you ruled on something, they show up outside your house. That culture of intimidation is being promulgated, I think, by many. I mean, did you see Maxine Waters yesterday, AOC? They're calling for their stuff. They're telling people to go into the streets. So this isn't going to be just on this issue. I think this is a tactic of the left to try to intimidate individuals and elected officials to get what they want.
Finally, Cheryl, Donald Trump, a lot of folks thanking him today. He selected 3 of those justices that played a pivotal role in yesterday's decision. How much should he be thanked? How much of a responsibility did he play in this final decision with the Supreme Court?
You have to give credit to Donald Trump, right? And the Senate for giving thumbs up to Donald Trump's picks. But without Donald Trump in the White House standing strong for his picks for the U.S. Supreme Court, we wouldn't be here today. And so you can talk about Donald Trump in various political ways and disagree with him on politics or even demeanor. But insofar as securing this Roe v. Wade overturn, I would have to say Donald Trump is first and foremost the person at the helm. He is responsible for bringing this out.
Well, Genevieve Wood and Cheryl Chumley, thank you both for your time today. We appreciate it.